Okay,
I'd like to call the Willington Inland Wetlands and Watercourses Commission meeting, February 22nd, 2021. It's at 6 p.m. It's a special meeting tonight. We have no roll call to roll or seating of alternates. So we'll move right on to new business. The first item on the agenda is IW 21-2, application for permitted uses as a right determination, 26 Moose Meadow Road, map 21, lot 0601, owner applicant Julia A. Cartabino.
so I think we have someone here that can talk a little bit about the project, but as you know, there are certain things which don't require wetlands permits,
Right.
and they're spelled out in the wetlands regulations, but they still require you to make a determination that they are indeed as of right. So that is why they are before you. And I think I see Evan here. So I'm going to let him take it from there.
So, yeah, I'm not quite sure what you're looking for in this instance, but do you want me to just go over kind of the outline of what we're doing or wanting to do?
Yeah, I think that would be good.
A good starting place.
All right, well, basically, this is a small farm pond that over many years has filled up with organic debris from upstream, leaves primarily, and has gotten to the point now where the storage capacity is pretty well down to nearly nothing due to its reverting into a swamp, if you will, or a marsh. And in order to ensure water availability during the unpredictable droughts that we seem to get these days, it is necessary that we clean this out and restore the storage capacity that it historically had.
Okay. Do we, will we need to look at a map or anything like that on this, or is this just a?
Yeah, I think I have. Let me see if I can pull it up. And so just to let you know, section 4.1 of the regs, permitted uses as of right, it talks about farm ponds essential to a farming operation of 3 acres or less. That's the section. Let me see if I can pull up the application.
This pond is considerably smaller. It's more like maybe 3/10 of an acre, probably even less.
You call it a 1/4 acre pond, huh?
Well, it's yeah, something like that, yeah.
This is at, was it 26 Moose Meadow?
Yes, that's correct.
All right. Can you all see my screen?
Yes.
All right, so you want to direct me to where it is and I'll zoom in?
Yeah, so basically we put 26 because there's not actually a street number. It's that pond just immediately above your cursor.
Right here.
Yes. And the maximum depth right now is about probably 3 feet in a very small area. And the rest of it is considerably less.
So from my perspective, if you could just elaborate a little bit on, because one of the things we're looking at is, you know, the quote essential to the farming operation. So if you could just kind of outline for them how this is tied to the farming operation, that would be good.
Certainly. So under your cursor now is part of the fields, and they stretch down towards 74. It's hard not being able to show you on my screen, but you can see all the fields there. And those are all irrigated out of that pond. That is the sole source of irrigation for that area.
Dave, you're muted.
Here we go. The circular field that's uphill from the pond towards the back lot, does that one get irrigated as well?
The one under the cursor?
No, the other one. To the right and there, that one.
Let me see which one that is. Yes, that will be, the irrigation actually will be extending to that probably this year. Just to the left of that, on the left side of that field is irrigated currently, and that will be extended to that as well.
And that's why you need more capacity.
Yes, well, and also that we've been fairly lucky that we haven't run out of water in some of the droughts, but with the effects of climate change becoming more and more pronounced, we're afraid that in the future, it may be not sufficient in its current state.
Right.
My questions are, so it looks like there's an upgradient pond. Looks like there's a stream that flows into that. Is that correct?
Yes, there's a pond uphill from that lower one.
And then where does this pond discharge to?
This part, the lower pond,
Yes.
the lower pond discharges out, flows under Moose Meadow Road and down into the cow pasture across the road.
And then what method do you intend on? Is there like some sort of control device for that pond? How does it discharge?
It just has a rock spillway at this point. There's no control device, no stand pipe, no piping of any sort, just a spillway that's highly eroded at this point.
And I presume you're going to repair that as part of the dredging.
We hadn't had great plans to do that, but yes, we'll probably consider repairing it. Would be a good time to do it.
And in order to dewater the dredgings, where do you put them?
As far as where the sediment will go, where the fill will go.
Yes, yes.
There is a clearing just up from that field next to the pond on the upslope side that is sufficient to hold the spoil and isn't going to allow it to escape back into the pond or back into any wetlands.
And then what's going to be your methods for this activity?
It'd be pretty straightforward. It'll be, there's not much water in the pond currently, as I've already outlined. So we will be using a pump to get the water level down, and then just using a small excavator and a small dump truck to move the spoil out of the pond and into the dumping area.
Here are some of my concerns. During the initial dewatering, obviously, I believe this all discharges into the Fenton River.
Yes, that's correct.
My initial thought is during the initial pumping, any sediment that gets liberated will have an opportunity to perhaps get into the Fenton River. So you may want to consider some sort of BMP to control that.
Well, it's a matter of where we put the suction pipe. We're planning on keeping the suction pipe above the sediment so that it will not ingress into the sediment and hence will not pump it out.
And then where do you plan on pumping that water?
The water was just going to go into the stream below it. It was not going to be a high volume pump. It would be over the course of several days to not cause any erosion.
Okay. Do you own that piece of property across the road there where that stream flows through?
No, we do not.
Okay.
That's a cattle farm over there, as I recall.
That is correct, yes. And the cattle wade in the stream.
That Clauses?
Clauses, yes.
Yeah,
Not the owners, but they are the ones that rent that field.
right.
My other thought is this in an NDDB area since it's so close to the Fenton River? What's your timing on this project?
As soon as possible, because we would like to have this done for this year's growing season.
I think the Fenton is probably a couple of 1,000 feet away from the road, isn't it?
Yes, this pond flows into this, across the road here, and then you can follow it along and it flows up into the Fenton, flows north actually into the Fenton.
Mike, can you throw on the NDDB layer on that at all? Okay, you're just outside of it. Okay. My concern there was for anything that's maybe hibernating in that pond, that if you start digging it up, if there was any species of concern that would perhaps be
I'm not aware of
problematic.
any species of concern in the pond.
Right, that's why I wanted to look at that layer.
I think that for what we are looking at on this, I don't know if we can really do too much about species of concern.
Well, that's why I wanted to look at the NDDB layer. Because it is, I know the Fenton, there are things in there, so
Yeah,
he's
What
outside
species,
of that.
if you don't mind me asking, what species are in the Fenton of concern?
I don't know, you have to get that from the state.
Okay,
Probably wood turtles.
yes, I would imagine there would be wood turtles for sure.
native trout.
Okay.
But
And how deep do you plan on putting this thing?
This pond would be about 8 feet. At a 3-to-1 slope, which is the slope recommended, that would be about the maximum depth, which would allow for a safe and reasonable bank slope as well as water storage capacity. So it'd be kind of the happy medium.
Now, is that pond fringed by wetlands at all?
No,
so we only have limited control over what's going on here because this is an as of right determination.
Hmm.
Is that right, Mike?
Yep, so basically, if this is work related to a farm pond, 3 acres or less, essential to a farming operation, then you're basically making that determination that it's an exempt activity. It's not subject to your review.
Right.
And so it's not even by deep considered to be a permit. So yeah, you're correct. We wouldn't issue a condition or anything. We're basically we're just confirming that what it is they're doing is exempt.
Right,
You
and
could-
the only thing we can do is make suggestions to how to do the job so that it doesn't cause any problems. But we
Right,
can't.
or, yeah, you could also in theory say, I don't think this is as of right, and you're gonna need a permit. And we could go down that road, but I think that you're right. You can make suggestions, but there's no permit with conditions that gets issued.
Because to my mind, it clearly is an as of right farming activity. Is that,
I would agree.
Mark? You agree, Mark?
He's talking. He's not muted, but I don't hear him.
No, I don't hear him either. Yeah, thumbs up or thumbs down, Mark. Yeah, thumbs up.
Here we go.
Okay.
The old fashioned way.
So, okay, so
If you can just do it in a, if you guys are done, I don't know if you're done or still have questions, or, if you could just do that in a motion so we can make get an official determination for the minutes, that would be good.
Mark, you can also use the chat feature in that if you want to write anything or if you have any questions. It's down on the bottom.
Are we all good? Are we lost Pat?
he'll be right back. It's got some technical difficulties in the background.
Guess so. Let me just see.
Okay, Patrick, anytime you want to unmute yourself.
I wasn't sure if Mark had anything else.
Sign language, Mark.
He's using the chat feature.
Yeah,
Mark's all set.
Are we entertaining a motion?
I would like to.
Motion to approve application IW21-2 application for permitted uses as a right determination for the small single pond located at 26 Moose Meadow Road, map 21, lot 0601 for agricultural uses, which includes the proposal by the applicant to dredge that pond to 8 feet.
Mark? Up or down?
He put second in the chat.
Second.
Then is there any further discussion? Then all in favor, thumbs up.
Aye.
Opposed? Thumbs down. Abstentions? Then that carries, and you're set to go.
Thank you very much.
And just try not to muddy the waters too much.
Yeah, that would be ideal. Yes, I'm afraid the cows are doing a pretty good job right now.
I understand. Okay. I keep losing my agenda here. Okay, so we move on to the next agenda item, which is an application for receipt of TH 21-1 application for a timber harvest on 55 Blair Road. Owner Stephen G. Lackman, applicant Thomas Walker. So we're just receiving this, correct?
Yep, just receipt. And the applicant is unsure about their ability to attend a virtual meeting, so we're trying to coordinate. He may call in via phone, and we will mail you hard copies of everything so that you can follow along. We're working with him on that, but 1 and 2 are both his applications, and they're just receipt.
Okay. So we just received applications, TH 21-1 and IW 21-3. Is that correct? So we can move on to agenda item 3.
Yep.
Application, IW 21-4, application to create a pond and wetlands at 11 Daleville School Road. Owner applicant Jason Deskus.
So this one, we're still working with the applicant or the owner to get all the information. He has indicated that he wants to create a pond on the property. This is not a farm pond, which is why it's before you as an actual application. So we're going to work with him to get everything else finalized, and this will be before you at the next meeting.
All right.
Do we have any information? Because I know this area is in an NDDB area. I looked at that earlier. Not sure if he has. I don't know if we can talk much about the application and about how much disturbance do you think he's looking at?
Yeah, one of the things we're running into is that the site plans, there is some conservation easements in the area, and the site plans that show everything the scales are kind of funky. So I can show you, generally speaking, where I think he's proposing based on the information that we have. Just don't hold me to it, but let me see if I can pull it up.
Well, he's going to have to have some really good data, because I think, correct me if I'm wrong, if he goes over a certain threshold, wouldn't that be Army Corps jurisdiction?
Yeah, the state has to be involved in it at a certain point as well.
Right. Yeah. So that's one of the things that Ashley and I talked about today, was trying to figure out exactly what his size is, because we have a plan that he marked up, but I don't think he understood the scale when it got copied. So it looks a lot larger than it is.
He actually just emailed me, and he said he's looking for 3/4 to an acre size pond, probably 100 by 325. He said, I think in between the two wetlands is 125 feet.
So it's not in an actual wetland, it's in the in between two of them.
Yes.
Right.
Well, that makes it a little bit better.
Yeah.
So the only thing, and I recognize, because we're trying to get this information, it's a little bit more complicated, but the only thing that you just need to confirm is that you don't want to have a public hearing for this. Obviously, he still needs to submit all the information, but that's the only thing we need to do tonight, is make sure that you don't need a public hearing for this.
Well, it's hard to determine that with, you know, he says 3/4 of an acre. Now, what is the trigger point for requiring a public hearing on wetland or upland review area disturbance?
What do you mean by trigger? You mean like,
There's-
you guys have the ability to decide if you think one would be necessary. Let me see.
Yeah, but there are some, I believe that in our regs, there's a
let me pull it up.
line that says if you're disturbing X amount of land that's within the review area, that there has to be a public hearing by.
So I'm reading section 9, which is public hearings.
Yep, I just got there.
I don't see anything about an amount of. The inland legislature shall not hold a public hearing on an application unless the inland wetland agency determines that the proposed activity may have a significant impact on wetlands or watercourses, or a petition is signed by 25 persons who are 18 years of age or older, requesting that a hearing be held, blah, 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 blah. Or that holding a public hearing regarding such application would be in the public interest.
Right. Well, it must have been in one of the old sets of regs. Okay. I don't suppose you've gone out there and seen this, either one of you,
Not as of yet, no.
because it's really hard for us to determine a public hearing without much information.
What can we try to obtain? You're receiving it tonight, so you have 15 days. I mean, you guys can always try to hold a site walk if you want us to try to coordinate that.
Isn't it, doesn't the public hearing come within 65 days of receiving it?
You have to decide within 15 days of receiving it, I believe, if you're going to have a hearing. So you'd have to decide 15 days from today if you're going to have the hearing. And that would start to allow us to determine what the time clock would be to open the hearing. So, you know, if you wanted to do it that way, we could try to coordinate that. Now, it's a little bit complicated because of COVID. So I don't know what your thoughts are as far as how you'd want to do that, but we would first have to be able to see if we can get you on the property and coordinate the date.
And the snow has to melt.
So did this guy hire like an engineering firm? Like were the wetlands legit
So
delineated? Or is
the
it just gonna be
property
like
was
like a marker crayon drawing that we're gonna get?
No. The property was part of a subdivision. There is an engineered survey which shows portions of the property which are conservation easement, portions of the property which are wetlands, and then neither. So there is a legitimate site plan. My suggestion would be, since we are not quite comfortable yet, would be that the commission sort of just commit to, and it could be any time, having some type of a site walk or a special meeting in the next 2 weeks, so that we can hear from you on if you want to have a hearing or not. And then I can coordinate, with you all to either hold the meeting to make the decision, or we can have a site walk and you can see it. But if you don't want to make the call tonight, we need to get together for some special meeting just to decide what you're comfortable with. And it doesn't have to be on a Monday. It doesn't have to be at 6 or 7:30. We just have to have a quick meeting so that we can ultimately make that decision.
Yeah, okay. Let me see, that would be, if today is the 22nd, 15 days is
9th.
9th.
Do you guys want to just want us to try to get more information, or do you think it would be better if you had the opportunity to walk the site?
I think we could determine that if we had a map with elevation on it.
Because I can show you what we have.
Yeah, let's see what you got.
I gotta.
What?
This is why I was referring to the issue of scale, because obviously this is not correct. So there is a house that's basically right up here. And then these areas are the hashed area, most of what you're seeing is actually conservation easement. And then within it, you can see some wetlands flags as well.
Let's look at, is that a stream channel that goes right through the middle of that? I would assume connecting both wetlands.
Yeah,
That's a lot of wetland there.
Ashley, do you know if the house plan is in this application too? Could I, or is that?
I might have uploaded. If not, I can upload it real quick if you give me a second.
who's cursing?
No, I'm trying to.
Yeah, I think it's there, Ashley.
Okay, yeah, I just uploaded it.
So there's a Daleville Road and then the Daleville School Road, huh?
It's
Correct.
Daleville Road.
All right, because I was looking at the, well, the Fenton River's there too.
The
So this-
Fenton River, yeah.
So this is the house plan that was approved not all that long ago. And then you can see area of the conservation easement. And then, let me see if I can, let me see if I can do it this way.
Where exactly is that house?
So the house is up here.
Yeah,
Can you see my cursor?
Yeah.
So,
I see the house, but I don't see your cursor.
Well, I brought it up on Google Maps and it looks like,
see that blue line?
yeah.
Yes,
Is there a
Can you-
farm field out there?
These are good questions for the owner.
I'm just trying to find it on maps. Okay.
now down there where it's, oh,
Am I still sharing? I can't tell.
yeah, you are now. We were looking at your calendar a minute ago.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't want to get too in the weeds without him here or with the owner here. I just,
Yeah,
what are you guys want us to schedule? You want us to try to coordinate with you via email to have a site walk? Or do you want to have another, how do you want to deal with it?
Guess we could talk.
I would think a site walk. But then we would still have to have the special meeting if we decided that we needed it.
Well, we would notice the site walk as the meeting. And so as long as you concluded the site walk and you all had a consensus on what you were going to do, we would be okay.
That means for you poor working guys,
Yeah,
you would have to be a weekend.
it's fine.
It would have to basically be this weekend, I
You
think,
do the
right?
27th to the 28th, well,
We could do the 27th, the 28th, the 5th, or the 6th. Are any of those
the 6th
not
or the
good or good for you guys?
6th or the 7th. I can, I'm clear on any of them.
Okay,
Leave it up to the two working guys to determine it.
Give me one second, guys.
Yes, sir. Oh, you guys are all still here.
Mark, do any of those days not work for you or work for you? Great. Okay, so Mark's good for those days.
Yeah, I'm free this Saturday morning, anytime.
What about the following weekend, just in case, 5th through the 6th?
Yeah, the morning is fine,
On which? Either?
either.
Okay.
I'm not available on the 28th in the morning until maybe
Okay.
like 11 o'clock.
All right, so what we'll do is try to coordinate with him to see, make arrangements of what to be on the property, and we'll circle back with you guys via email.
Okay.
So just stay tuned.
Okay, very good.
And I think that's all we got.
Okay, let me get back to my agenda here. So we've essentially just received that, and we're going to have a site walk or something, time and date to be determined.
Yep.
All right. So we'll move on to old business. Don't have any old business. Correspondence.
Just very quickly, we did get the final approval from Deep for the forestry regs.
Yay.
Yeah, finally.
Very good. And staff report and discussion.
I will have something for you at the next meeting about the Loves Bio Survey that was just recently submitted. So stay
Okay.
tuned.
Great. Does any commissioners have anything to report to staff? Nope. Okay, public comment. Is there anybody out there that wants to make a public comment? If it is, I'll read the wrap. Otherwise, I won't.
I just have one more thing. Well, that property is pretty close to the Ashford town line. So if any of that, will you have to notify Ashford at all?
We'll verify.
I mean, about the pond?
Yep.
You're also looking at Ashford, so I will verify.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Mark has muted himself out there. I don't know if he's there or not. There he is. Okay. So now we will take that famous motion for adjournment. Everybody can then go home.
Motion to adjourn the February 22nd, 2021 Willington Inland Wetland and Watercourses Commission meeting.
Any discussion? All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Okay, guys. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, talking to you folks. It's probably the only people I've talked to in the last couple of months.
We'll be in touch. We'll be in touch via email about the special meeting when we confirm.
Okay.
Okay. Sounds
So
good.
that
Thank
might-
you.